Are you tired of the same boring headers that either disappear when you scroll or just stick at the top like glue? Standard headers can be dull, and simple sticky headers, while functional, don't really add much flair to your GoHighLevel website. But what if you could have a header that's dynamic, engaging, and actually enhances your user experience? Let me show you a cool custom effect that takes your GoHighLevel website header to the next level. Right, so this is the GoHighLevel website builder for those who don't know, and this is the exact same website that I demoed earlier. I won't start from scratch. I'm gonna use this example because it's much easier to understand and to see exactly how all elements are positioned. So the first step is to create a few sections. The first one, the most important one, is this green one for the header alone, and then you can create as many sections as you want. I only created 2 with some big padding just so that we have a big page on which we can scroll, right? So I can show you the effect in action. What's so special about this green section? Well, if we go onto the advanced tab, you can see that it has this class, sticky menu. You can just create a section and add this sticky class with the exact same name, and in just a sec I will show you exactly what CSS code to add to this class. But first, let's go over all the elements that you need. So the first element, as I said, is the green section with the sticky menu class. Inside this you should create a row element with a menu, navigation menu, and also with a button. The button, if we go to the advanced section, also has a custom class called header button. Again, copy the exact same name. And also, if we go on the row element, this blue one, you should add the section fill custom class, right? Again, the exact same name. And also, make sure that the green section has these settings. Sticky has to be set to stick to top on scroll, right? By default is no stickiness, but we want it to be sticky, so choose the second option. And also allow rows to take the entire width, right? Because if we don't do that, then the effect won't be on the entire section. Obviously, if you like it this way, you can use it this way, right? No problem. But for this particular example, we are gonna use the entire width of the green row, the green section, sorry. Right, and this is pretty much it. As you can see, the menu doesn't have anything. The navigation menu, it's just standard. I just changed the logo here so it looks nicer, and other than that, we are pretty much done with the section, the header section. The other sections don't really matter, so you can add whatever you want here. It really doesn't matter. The only thing that you have to add is this custom HTML and JavaScript element, and I'm gonna show you in just a sec what it contains. But first, let's go into the custom CSS section here and go over all the classes that you have to add, right? And I'm also gonna explain you exactly what each of these classes do. So the first thing is where we set our variables. I only set one variable, which is color, and is set to white. This represents the background color that comes down when we hover over our section. If we put red here and click save, as you can see, the entire section is red, right? So this variable controls that background color. Let's put it to white again. The next thing is section fill. Section fill, as you remembered, is the blue element, the row element, right? Section fill, it has a position, overflow hidden, very important, so that whenever our white background goes up, we don't see it on our screen, right? And then the white background that comes down and goes up is created using a before pseudo element, right? Just like this. You just pause the video and copy the exact same code you see in this video. But I'm also gonna explain to you what it does, because maybe you want to customize it, you know, maybe create something else or whatever. So before pseudo element, or you can use the after pseudo element, the same thing, right, has these properties. Those two right here control the border, right, the rounded corners. You can do 10 pixels, 20 pixels, whatever you want. The background color here, as you can see, is the exact same variable, uses the exact same variable that I shown you earlier. And then this transform scale y 0 makes it invisible, basically, right? Makes it so that it has a size of 0 on the y axis, meaning vertically it's not displayed. And then transform origin top, because we want the background to come down when we hover over our section. If you put button, this is what is going to happen, right? The entire section will be filled with white from the button, and it's not really a nice effect if you ask me. So let's stick to top. And then of course the transition, which happens in 0.3 seconds. Moving further, we have a hover effect for our before pseudo element, and this scales it on the y-axis to 100%, right? And this is how we get that cool effect with the background changing to white, and it comes down and then it goes up and so on. Perfect. Moving on to the next class, we have section fill hover header button, meaning that this class will only be applied when we hover over the section fill element, which in our case, as you remember, is the blue row element. Then what happens, the button, which contains the class header button, will change its color to this one, right? If you remember, this is the section fill, right? The blue 2-column row, and if we hover over it, the button, which has the class header button, changes its colors. Very, very simple. Of course, if you have more questions, please leave them in the comment section below and I will try to answer them all. Moving on, we have another class called scrolled, but again, you can have it as header button 2 or something like that. This is specifically for the second color, right? When you scroll here on the blue section, then you get the button to turn to blue. But of course, you need JavaScript in order to do that. Just copy everything you see in this video and everything should work fine. Next, we also have a transition set to our header button, so it changes color in 0.3 seconds. Of course, you can do it in like 1 second, and this will affect how much time it takes for it to change its color. Right? You can also set variables for these things or whatever you think you need. For now, we will put at 0.3. Sticky menu as well, it has a transition of 0.3 seconds, and this sticky menu is for the entire green section, right? And as you can see, sticky menu dot hidden, basically when we add the hidden class to our sticky menu, then it translates on the y-axis to minus 100%, meaning it will be moved vertically minus 100%. This means that it will go off screen. So this is basically the effect. When you scroll down, the sticky header goes up and you don't see it anymore. So this is all you need for custom CSS. Now, as I said earlier, we also need a custom JavaScript element, and in this one, as you can see, we have two scripts, right? This one and this one, and I left some space between them so it's easier for you to understand. The first script controls the sticky menu and also adds or removes the hidden class. This is another class. Basically, when we scroll down, the green section obtains this class, hidden, and we don't see it anymore. If we scroll up, then the section doesn't have the hidden class anymore, so that's why we can see the sticky menu once again. And the next function, hopefully you can see the entire script, right? Just pause the video again and try to write it yourself. And the next function is this one. This one makes sure that if we go beyond a set threshold, then the button will change to another color, right? For this particular example, I set it to 1000, but you can play around with it depending on how many sections you have here or how far the second section is, how far you have to scroll to the next section. In my case, when you hover over here, this is the 0 position, right? When your scroll bar here is at the top, this is 0, and then you have to go down and there is a value assigned. Just play around with that value, which is this one, scroll threshold, and then adjust it based on what color your background is, or depending on what color you want your button to have. In my case, I wanted the button to be yellow when I hover over our navigation section in the yellow section, and in the cyan or blue section I wanted it to turn blue. But again, you can play around with this and customize it however you want. There are plenty of methods that you can use to further improve this header, and if you want to learn one that makes this button really stand out, check out this video.